Scene 11, time 4 p.m. Place at the college library. Ralph is using a computer. Nearby is a group of students. They are talking. Ralph's alter ego enters.
Before it was Cynthia, now it's college students. When do these annoyances ever stop? Their insistent talking is disturbing me and nobody cares.
One of the students starts talking on a cell phone.
Fuck. Now one of them is using a cell phone. Why can't they be quiet? Do I have to be the one to tell them to shut up? I really don't want to talk to them. Where the fuck is the security?
Ralph starts using the computer again, but soon stops.
Can't take it anymore.
Ralph's alter ego exits.
Excuse me.
The students ignore him. Ralph speaks louder.
Excuse me, your talking is really disturbing me.
The students stop talking and look at Ralph. One of the students, a young man, replies.
Sorry.
The students resume their talking. Ralph gets up and goes over to the students.
Look, your talking is bothering me, okay?
Okay, mister. We heard you the first time. We don't think we're talking that loud.
I don't care what you think. You were talking loudly.
We weren't. Nobody else is complaining, so stop hassling us.
You're hassling me.
A school security officer enters.
What's the problem here?
This guy is pestering us.
Listen, let me see your student ID.
Hey, officer, they were pestering me.
No, we weren't. We were talking quietly and studying.
I want to see your student ID.
Ralph gives the officer his student ID. The security officer takes out a pad and pen and records Ralph's name and student ID
You're
number.
noting down my name and ID. I didn't do anything.
You were causing a disturbance.
No way.
First, lower your voice. And second, I'm giving you a warning. If this happens again, you'll be removed from this building and reported to the school provost.
The stage goes dark, then the lights go on. Time 1995. Ralph is in a cafeteria where he works. He's having lunch. Two young people, a man and a woman, enter. On their jackets are fixed identification cards saying medical interns. They're carrying food trays. They sit down at a table next to Ralph's.
Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice that you're interns.
Yes, we are.
Did you ever hear of a television show named Ben Casey starring Vince Edwards?
No, never heard of it. Who's Ben Casey?
Well, you're doctors. You never heard of Ben Casey?
Sorry, afraid not.
What about Dr. Kildare with Richard Chamberlain?
You got me there too.
Those were two of the most popular TV shows in the 60s. Chamberlain was a huge star.
We weren't even born then.
What about McHale's Navy with Joe Flynn and Ernest Borgnine?
You got us there again.
What about Dr. Zhivago?
Oh, was that a TV show too?
Come on, stop fooling with me. Dr. Zhivago is one of the greatest movies ever made. It came out in 1965. It's about a doctor who gets caught up in the Russian Revolution.
Look, it's been nice talking to you, but we gotta eat and run.
Well, wait, but what about West Side Story with Natalie Wood and George Chakiris, or The Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston and Ann Baxter? Surely you must have heard of some of these movies.
The stage goes dark, then the lights go on. Time is the present. Scene the library. Ralph and the security officer are continuing their conversation.
Have I made myself clear?
Very clear.
Good.
The security officer gives Ralph his ID and exits. Ralph's alter ego enters.
Richard Chamberlain, Ernest Borgnine, Dr. Zhivago, West Side. Great actors, great movies, all forgotten. That's it, like they never existed.
Is all that Hollywood pulp really worth remembering? All it did was fuck up your head. After you saw Zhivago, you thought the Russian Revolution was a soap opera, and after you saw West Side Story, you thought every Puerto Rican girl was a whore.
Just like what's in store for me. I could drop dead right now and nobody would miss me, not even for a second.
What do you want, a state funeral?
Why should I expect anything more in this cold, uncaring world that turns everything that's beautiful into something ugly?
Don't blame the world, blame yourself.
Yesterday, I was walking on Fifth Avenue and saw this incredibly beautiful woman. I mean, she was knockout beautiful, standing on the street looking like a goddess. I mean, I stopped walking and just stood there admiring her. Then she opened up her pocketbook and took out a pack of cigarettes, lit up and started puffing away like a smokestack. I was so upset and disgusted I almost broke down and cried. I used to find women so beautiful.
You never found women beautiful. You just wanted to fuck them.
Once again, I have to blame Hollywood for that. After watching so many incredibly charming women on the screen, I thought that was the way women really were. Sensitive, understanding, supportive, loving, loyal. In short, the epitome of perfection. They all had perfect bodies, alluring smiles, wonderful coiffed hair, melodious voices, everything that a guy could possibly want in a girl. Everything that I wanted in a woman.
You mean everything you wanted in a whore?
Once again, I was missing.
End of scene 11.
End of scene 12. Time 5 p.m. Place, the Catholic Church in Midtown. Ralph enters in the middle of the homily. Ralph's alter ego enters.
And to show his love for us, God sacrificed his only begotten Son.
Who asked him to save us?
The day of judgment has been prophesied, and it's only a question of time.
What happened to Jesus was horrible, but that's how the Son of God was treated. I mean, come on. Then what hope is there for me? Maybe my life is God's way of punishing me, but why me? What did I do so wrong that I should be punished?
To attain salvation, you must embrace Christ.
I tried that and it didn't work. All I got was silence.
What did you expect, a symphony orchestra?
Even the good Lord ignores me. Then again, what should I expect from a religion that believes in original sin? Are people really so evil?
You should be asking that question in the first person, not the third.
People lose their tempers, call each other bad names, hurt each other's feelings, pad bills, cheat on their taxes, cheat on their spouses, eat unclean food, cop fields. Only guys do that, of course. And do 1,000 other stupid, selfish things. So what? Does the good Lord really have time to deal with such petty nonsense?
First, stop being presumptuous, and second, you know that those stupid, selfish things you mentioned are much more than just petty
The Lord
nonsense.
invested us with human nature, so the human condition is something that we cannot possibly change.
Well, you're saying that because you don't want to change.
It's what makes us human. And for some priest or minister to lecture us about our failings is to me just a waste of time. I listen to what they say and want to scream to them. Why are you telling me this?
Yeah, because you're a sinner and you know it.
Why are you trying to make me feel bad?
Because you've acted badly.
Why not take your message to all the murderers and the rapists and the thieves languishing in prisons? Let them alone first. Tell them atone for their sins and come preach to me about changing my ways. Then maybe I'll listen, but only maybe.
When you feel alone and abandoned, remember there is one out there who cares.
Yeah, cares about everybody except me.
Your self-pity is nauseating.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Let's look at facts.
Okay, fact number one, you're a drunk. And fact number two, you're a fool.
According to Scripture, the Almighty allowed the Hebrews, His chosen people, mind you, people who are under His protection, to be slaves for 400 years. And then, after liberating them, made them wander in a desert for another 40 years. Then later, He permitted His only begotten Son to be humiliated, tortured, and killed, a sacrifice that nobody asked Him to do, in fulfillment of prophecy. He then was resurrected, stayed around for a while, and left the earth and never returned, leaving us mortals to hold the bag here on earth. Given that history, why should I presume that He is there for me? You tell me.
First, stop trying to second-guess the Lord. And second, if you're not a believer, then what do you want from the church? You're lucky they even let you in here.
Stage goes dark. When the lights go on, the setting is the same. The time is 1 year earlier. Ralph is sitting in a pew. He has his cell phone to his ear. A man enters. He is the chief of security for the church.
Turn off the cell phone. No
Yes, sir.
cell phone
Yes, sir.
use
Yes,
allowed
sir.
inside the church.
Yes, sir.
Ralph moves the cell phone from his ear. The security guard enters.
You heard the man turn off the cell phone.
I'm turning it off.
A police officer enters.
Sir, you were told to turn off the cell phone. Please do it now.
Okay, I've been told that 3 times already.
That's right, you have. Now please don't make me have to tell you a 4th time.
The priest enters.
What's the problem?
He was causing a disturbance with his cell phone.
Is that so? Is there something I can help you with?
No, Father, nothing at all.
Stage goes dark. When lights go on, he is again the present.
The only person who cares about me is me. And even on that point, I have my doubts.
The priest cared, but you blew him off like you do everyone who actually reaches out to you. And that's because you hate yourself.
Let me get out of here. I have to have a drink.
Ralph is and his alter ego exit. Amazing Grace continues to be sung. End of scene 12.
Scene 13, time 6:30 p.m. Place a bar on West 23rd Street. The bar is moderately crowded. Some people are drinking at the bar, others are sitting at tables, eating, drinking, and conversing. Ralph is the only customer who's there alone. He's sitting at a table drinking his third screwdriver. Sitting opposite him at the table are a young man and young woman. They are both drinking beers and holding hands. Ralph's alter ego enters.
It amazes me when I think of all the money and time I spent and wasted on women who never really cared about me.
I think you got that scenario backwards.
Like that Russian girl, Natasha, who I met at a singles dance. I thought she loved me. But when her visa expired, she went back to Russia at the blink of an eye. If she'd really loved me, she would have never left. At least not the way she did, without even first discussing it with me.
First, you're talking about love is a joke. Second, she didn't consult with you because she needed advice from someone strong and caring, which of course, automatically excluded you.
She didn't care, just like the rest of them. Women. I'm finished with them.
Ralph takes out his cell phone and starts deleting numbers.
Don't need Cindy's number anymore. Done. I called Audrey last week and she never called me back. Her number is now history. I haven't heard from Bonnie for the past 6 months, so her number is now gone. Ditto with Denise's number. I haven't heard from her in over a year. Gone. Eve, one of my one-time sweetheart, the girl I thought would actually marry me. I haven't heard from her in years.
Look at you acting like a child. Pathetic. No wonder women leave you.
Her number's now history. Same for Sandy. She used to come by at night and we'd have some fun. But then she left town. Well, fuck her! Her number's gone as of right now. Done. I can almost hear my phone thanking me for eliminating all that excess electronic baggage. Let them call me, and if I don't hear from them, then fuck them. Who needs them?
Ralph's alter ego exits. The waitress walks by.
Excuse me, waitress.
Waitress stops and approaches Ralph.
I'd like to have another screwdriver, please.
I don't think so. I think you've had enough.
I have?
Yes, I received complaints about you mumbling loudly to yourself, and the only reason why I didn't ask you to leave sooner is because you're a regular customer.
Well, excuse me for drinking.
Well, if you don't leave now, I'm going to have to ask the manager to come over.
Okay, I'm leaving. Just let me get my coat on. How much do I owe you?
$7.50?
Ralph takes out his wallet.
Here's 20, keep the change.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. Just glad to see me go. But no hard feelings.
Ralph exits. Stage goes dark. When lights go on, Ralph is on the street. Ralph's alter ego enters.
Oh, she was a bitch. So what? I just got another bar.
That's right, get sloshed. That's all you're good for.
But I'm not driving. I don't care who I am.
End of scene 13. Scene 14, time 7 p.m. Plays another bar a few blocks away, which is also moderately crowded with customers. Ralph enters. Once again, Ralph is the only customer who is alone. Ralph goes to the bar and orders a drink.
Hello, my good man. I would like to have a double scotch straight with ice on the side.
You got it, Mac.
The bartender makes a drink and serves it to Ralph. Ralph takes his drink and sits at a table watching the other customers drink and talk. There's lots of laughter and chatter. Ralph's alter ego enters.
Look at all those people stuffing their faces with food. That's disgusting.
You envy them. They're happy while you're alone feeling miserable.
It reminds me of the times when I used to bring Felicia here. She was fun to be with, but there was one problem. She was married, so being with her wasn't too cool.
No, it wasn't cool. But you knew that, yet you went with her anyway.
Actually, the issue wasn't so much that she was married. That alone wouldn't have stopped me from fucking her, but I was spending a ton of money on a married woman whose husband also happened to be a friend of mine, so I couldn't bring myself to do the deed. That would have been a rotten thing to do.
It would be absurd. The only reason why you didn't do the deed with Felicia was because you were afraid that if her husband found out, he'd come after you.
So the most I ever got was a good night's kiss and the pleasure of watching another man's wife consume food and drink at my expense. Now, here I am, alone, in the same place. At least I'm not getting a fool of myself.
A waitress enters. Ralph's alter ego exits.
Excuse me.
The waitress stops.
Yes, may I help you?
Did you know that I was once a sergeant in the United States Army? When I tell people that, nobody believes me, and what's worse, nobody cares.
Well, I believe you, and thank you for your service, but now, would you like to order some food?
Food? I don't need no stinking food. Food's a waste. It just bulks you up. I'm like a car. I run on liquid fuel.
You're funny.
And you are lovely. Perhaps we could continue this repartee later.
Oh, I'd love to, but I can't talk right now. It's kind of busy here.
Oh, okay. Well, let me give you my card. My cell number's on the back.
Yes, Give me your card.
Ralph removes a business card from his wallet and gives it to the waitress, who takes the card and puts it in her pocket.
Thanks. Maybe I'll give you a call.
The waitress exits. Ralph's alter ego enters.
Like she's gonna give me a call, but you never can tell. At least she didn't bust my chops. She's not bad looking either and has a nice smile.
And maybe she'll put out for you.
The stage goes dark. When the stage lights go on, the setting is a diner. It is 6 years earlier. Ralph is sitting at a table with a woman. She's attractive and in her mid-40s. Her name is Inez.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an assistant principal for the Board of Education.
Sounds like a good job.
It is, and you?
Well, I work for the city too. I'm in administrative capacity.
Oh, what agency?
Family services.
Oh, so we're both city workers.
I guess so.
What do you like to do for fun?
Different things. I like going to the movies. I'm a real movie buff. How about you?
I've done a lot of traveling recently, ever since my divorce. Are you married?
No, I'm single.
Were you ever married?
Kind of.
What do you mean, kind of?
I live with a woman.
But you weren't married.
No, we weren't.
How come you never got married?
Is it important?
Well, to me, yes, because I'm looking to get married again, and I'm not a one-night stand, and I believe in making commitments.
And breaking commitments too.
Well, that was his fault, not mine. I take my commitments seriously, and if you don't believe me, too bad. How about you? What are you looking for?
Well, somebody interesting like yourself.
How do you know I'm interested in this met?
You have a way with words.
You're not just looking for sex, are you?
Who said anything about sex?
Well, you've never been married, so why else would you want to go out with a woman?
Here we go again. You know, I think we ought to call it a night.
Stage goes dark. When lights go on, it is again the present.
Anyway, let me finish my drink, then I'm out of here.
End of scene 14.
Scene 15, time 7:30 p.m. Place, Fifth Avenue. Ralph is in the process of crossing the street when a Chinese bicycle delivery man almost hits him. Ralph is intoxicated.
I did catch it. Watch him with that bike. You almost hit me. Hey, schmuck, what's so funny?
The bicyclist stops, turns around, and gives Ralph the finger.
Yeah, yours too.
The bicyclist exits. Ralph's alter ego enters.
You see that bastard did? He doesn't care. And why should he? I'm nothing to him. Black, beige, and olive, yellow and brown, swarthy complexions throughout the town. They cause me to sulk and feel rather down, like I'm a zilch who rates no renown. The world is now a very strange place with funny talk from each foreign race, whose mumble-jumble sounds to me base and makes me want to hide my pale face. It was not like in the days gone by when all of us were part of the pie. We cherished a flag that waved on high over a land that would never die. Now everything's changed. All the landmarks of my childhood are gone. Places I thought would last forever, like the old Yankee Stadium, the old Madison Square Garden, the Polo Grounds, Shea Stadium. Used department stores like Gimbel's, Klein's, and B. Allman's, and many other places. Like the grocery store I used to shop in, the barber shop I went to for years, the deli I went to, the pharmacy I went to, the newsstand I went to, even my old school, all gone.
That's right, and you're next.
And one day, I'll be gone too, and forgotten. Hey, when I was a kid, we were taught that the country was a melting pot.
That was pure propaganda, and you bought it.
And people came here from all over the world, and out of the cauldron emerged something new and better. Now we're told that the melting pot was something bogus, a fraud perpetrated on us, that we're naive, and that ethnic autonomy and separateness is good.
You were naive. You just don't want to admit it.
The problem is, who wants to be separate? To be separate means to be excluded, to be stigmatized, to be labeled as different, to be ghettoized, to be shunned, hated, despised, and rejected.
No wonder you're such a mess today.
It was a recipe for failure. In the past, whole neighborhoods were ghettos.
Including yours.
The walls of the ghetto were poverty and race. Now entire cities and regions are ghettos. Sometimes differences can't be bridged.
Not that you ever tried. Building bridges to other people is not one of your strengths.
We are what we are, and sooner or later somebody gotta give.
That's right. Other people gave in the past, and now it's your turn to do the same.
When I was a kid, ethnicity was not an issue.
Technically, you are correct. The issue wasn't ethnicity, it was race.
We were taught that we were one country, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And that formula seemed to be working.
That formula, as you put it, was nothing but a cliche, and you know it.
Yeah, our neighborhoods were stable. Prices were low, and entertainment was cheap and plentiful.
More self-indulgent prattle that gives nostalgia a bad rap. When you were a kid, the average lifespan was 20 years shorter than it is today. People were living in grinding poverty, the air was filthy, and the general level of material wealth was but a small fraction of what it is today.
Talking about cheap entertainment, I remember when I was a kid, my friends and I used to go to the Mets and see the Mets at the Polo Grounds. General admission cost $1.25. A hot dog cost a quarter, and a program 15 cents. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Then you must also remember that the Polo Grounds was a dump that should have been condemned, and that the minimum wage back then was 25 cents an hour. So paying $1.25 for a ticket then would be like paying $45 today to watch a bunch of guys of questionable talent play a schoolyard game in a slum. Some bargain.
The team stunk, but so what?
The Mets just didn't stink. They were abysmal. The worst team in the history of Major League Baseball. A bunch of rejects and has-beens, most of whom had no business being in the major leagues. Yet you squandered your parents' hard-earned money to watch them play. Pathetic. It really showed how thoughtless you are.
It was a great time to be a sports fan and to be alive, especially for a kid. I mean, this was before race riots and AIDS and the Kennedy assassination, the King assassination, the Vietnam War, Kent State, the 1973 Arab oil embargo, Watergate, and all the other rotten stuff that came out.
More selective amnesia. What about the Cold War? Nuclear proliferation, labor unrest, McCarthyism, blacklisting, sexism, Jim Crowism, communism, environmental degradation, urban sprawl, escalating street crime, the Berlin Wall, apartheid, ICBMs, the widespread use of cigarettes, the military draft, and the Arab-Israeli conflict. You haven't forgotten them, have you?
Things were fine. We were all from the same country and spoke the same language.
What about your neighbors who came from Greece? And what about that family in the next building who were refugees from Poland? And what about those men who worked with your father? They were Russians. And what about that restaurant down the street that was owned by Chinese? And what about the barber shop that was owned by Italians? Same for the pizza place down the block. And what about your grandparents? None of them were born in the United States. And what about your two uncles who were born in Eastern Europe? And what about the rector of the church? He was from Ireland. And what about Ricky Ricardo? He was from Cuba. And what about the scientist who headed the U.S. space program? He was German and an ex-Nazi.
The families were intact.
What about the couple upstairs who got a divorce? And then their daughter suddenly got married and their son suddenly joined the service. That family disintegrated. And what about the fight that broke out in the street between that girl in the next building and her father who didn't like the guy she was marrying? The police had to be called. You witnessed it. And what about the time that ex-GI in the next building beat up his kid in the playground? You witnessed that too. Yes, families were intact, but only by the slimmest of threads.
We were all part of a community.
Which evaporated like water.
Had confidence in the future.
Like when Nasser nationalized the Suez Canal, or when the Soviets launched Sputnik, or when Eisenhower sent troops to Arkansas, or when the Soviets launched Gagarin into orbit, or when the Cuban Missile Crisis brought us to the brink of nuclear war, or when the U.S. started fretting over Vietnam.
We cared for each other.
You cared for yourself.
And we all pledged allegiance to the same flag.
That's because it was the only flag you knew.
Nobody told me that one day it would all change.
End of scene 15. Scene 15A. Once again, the stage is bare. Ralph is on stage. Then the imaginary woman enters and faces the audience. Ralph is frowning.
You're here again! Stop badgering me!
Mickey and Willie and Harmon and Duke, Marvin and Sandy, Drysdale and the Hoot. The last guy did pitch. He was really tough. A St. Louis card who had real great stuff. And Juan and the Raj and Willie Mac too were also real great, just like Eddie Matthews. And Rocky and Booge could hit the home run and make it look like they were having fun. It was a great time to be a sports fan when tickets were cheap throughout the great land. We knew every player, we knew every team, and going to games was something real keen. But that's in the past, and it's now a mere dream as time rushes on and wipes the slate clean.
Why remind me of this? Why torture me?
Ralph's alter ego enters and speaks to Ralph.
Why are you giving her such a hard time, Ralphie boy? She's only telling you what you already know, that the good times are gone.
forever.
End of scene 15A.
Scene 16. Time, 7:45 p.m. Place, a storefront ATM bank. A black woman named Cassandra Clark is standing at an ATM talking into a service phone. Ralph enters and goes to an ATM to withdraw cash. Ralph is intoxicated. He is also annoyed by Cassandra's chatter.
My name is Cassandra Clark. I'm having a problem accessing my account at this machine. For some reason, the window won't open up.
Why, hello, machine. I need some money. You're my best friend because I know you won't fail me.
And, excuse me, I can hardly hear you. There's a man in here shouting.
Wow, what a crappy day. But it'll be all better once I get some money and don't have to listen to this woman talking on the phone.
Excuse me, is my talking on the phone bothering you?
Who's talking to you? Mind your own business.
This guy sounds like he's losing it. Maybe I should call the police.
Hey, I heard that. If anyone should be calling the police, it should be me.
Who's stopping you?
Nobody. You're black, so you have a right to do whatever you want.
Racist pig!
Cassandra hangs up the phone. Stage lights go on. Time, 1977. Ralph and a young, attractive black woman named Loretta are in bed.
You are the most incredibly beautiful woman. What's wrong?
When am I going to meet your parents?
Oh, soon. Don't worry about it.
You've been telling me that ever since we met.
It's just not the right time. Trust me.
Did you tell them that you have a girlfriend who's black?
Well, why do they need to know that? They're not ready to meet you yet anyway. You have to trust me on this.
Okay, Ralph. I know where this is going. We're finished. Goodbye.
Stage goes dark. Stage lights go on. Time, the present. Ralph's old ego enters.
That was the last time I ever went out with a black girl. Blacks. Just because they were slaves doesn't mean they have to be so touchy.
How do you live with yourself? What defect in your character causes you to say something so dumb?
Ralph's alter ego exits, and imaginary Loretta enters and faces Ralph.
Not dumb. Racist. You know, Ralphie, I could call you a whole bunch of names, but you're not worth the effort. Because you're nothing but a nobody. And besides, I'm too much of a lady to lower myself to that level.
Nothing I do or say is ever right. Get out of my head!
End of scene 16.
Scene 17. Time, 8:30 p.m. Place, the interior of a diner. Ralph is standing at the counter. Behind the counter is a waiter who is taking the order. Ralph is still intoxicated.
What can I get you?
I want a hot open meatloaf sandwich with corn and baked potato.
You want anything to drink?
Hey, how about a scotch?
We don't serve alcohol.
Oh, that's too bad.
Anything else?
Well, how about a side order of coleslaw?
It comes with the food.
Okay.
Ralph notices packets of crackers on the counter.
Hey, I bet those crackers cost extra.
No, they don't. But if you want one, take it. They're free.
Something in this city is actually free? That's unbelievable.
That's right.
I just can't believe that those crackers are free.
Well, they are. Take one. In fact, take two.
I bet if I so much as touch one of those crackers, the next thing you'll be doing is calling the police.
What are you talking about?
Well, nothing in this damn city is for free. You're just trying to fuck with my mind.
That's not true, pal.
Hey, don't you pound me, okay?
If you don't quiet down, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
Ah, boy, the service in this place stinks.
Okay, mister, please leave.
What did I do?
You're giving me a hard time and you're disturbing the other customers. Now beat it!
Hey, that's no way to talk to a veteran.
I don't care who you are or what you think you are. Your order is canceled. Get out of here now before I call the
All
police.
right, I'm leaving. You happy?
Stage lights go on. Ralph is now on the street. Ralph's alter ego enters.
Nasty waiter. He's trying to set me up to be arrested. Just another foreigner waits Americans.
Now you want to fight a waiter. How stupid is that? In addition to being offensive, now you're being paranoid.
Hell with him. People in this city are so mean. They'll do you in at the drop of a hat. It's a good thing I'm a nice guy.
Don't make me laugh.
Every day it's aggravation. I can't even order takeout without becoming a struggle. Nothing comes easy.
That's because you're obnoxious.
Nobody cares.
That's because you drive people away.
Next time that waiter tries to fuck with me, I'll punch him in his face. Second thought, he's not worth it.
End of scene 17. Scene 18. Time 9 p.m. Place, Ralph's apartment. Ralph is sitting on the edge of his bed, disheveled. He is thoroughly intoxicated. Ralph's alter ego enters. Ralph speaks to his alter ego.
Calling Sheila was stupid. It really fucked up my mind.
Your mind was fucked up way before you made that phone call.
Hell, let me make myself a drink.
Ralph makes himself a large screwdriver heavily loaded with vodka. He places the drink on the tray.
This is a beautiful drink. Mr. Smirnoff is my only friend. He never fails me.
That's because Mr. Smirnoff is making lots of money off of you.
Ralph ignores his alter ego and starts sipping on his drink. He goes to a cupboard and grabs a bag of potato chips. He opens up the bag, puts a chip in his mouth, and immediately spits it out.
Oh, God, chips are stale. Nothing never goes right for me. It's all crap. Only my friend understands.
Ralph takes another sip. Ralph grabs the remote control and clicks on the television. He listens for a moment, then turns down the sound.
Politicians debating gun control. Nothing but grandstanding. That's all they're good for. They'll say anything for a vote. All they care about are themselves.
What do you expect? They're no different than you.
Yeah, fuck them. Who really cares what they have to say anyway? I sure don't.
Ralph switches off the television.
That's better.
Ralph continues drinking.
Everything's fucked up. Why do I even bother living?
Yes, why do you bother living?
What for? Oh, yeah, I remember. To keep collecting my pension, because I'm living the American dream, which is to work, survive, and collect. And that's exactly what I'm doing, collecting. I just gotta keep putting up with stupidity around me.
Well, that plan won't work, especially since you're the problem.
And Sheila, I should have fucked her when she was in my apartment. Hey, maybe I need a woman.
You need a woman like a drug addict needs drugs.
But I had women, dozens of them. And what did it get? Nothing. So who needs it?
You do, but for all the wrong reasons.
Besides, I can't even get it up anymore, so what?
What are you talking about? So what? Getting it up is what you live for. Your whole life has revolved around one goal, to stick it in and shoot your load, whatever the consequences. It's not because of bad luck that all your relationships fail. You make them fail. What about that older doll from Brooklyn who was hot for you? She loved you and treated you like you were a diamond-studded pleasure machine. But that wasn't good enough for you. When you got tired of her, you copped an attitude and left her high and dry. And why? Because you decided that her nose was too long. That she was beginning to look more like Cyrano de Bergerac than Roxanne. How fucked up was that? She was willing to do anything for you.
The problem is not loneliness, it's time. Time is relentless. Nothing can stop it. Before I know it, I'll be decrepit, and then I'll be dead.
But since you can't get it up, then what's the big deal if you die?
There's something to look forward to.
For you, yes.
Boy, if I die in my apartment, it might be days or even weeks before anybody notices that I'm missing. Maybe I should drop dead in the street instead. Make it easier for them to find me.
Well, now that's being considerate.
Now, who cares? Let them clean up after me.
Just when I thought you were turning over a new leaf.
Now I go to school, and for what? Just to fill in the time. People say, why don't you travel? I tell them, why don't you travel? Why don't you disappear?
Actually, nobody would care one way or another if you disappeared.
It's all the same crap wherever you go. Just packaged a little differently. Fuck the scenery, fuck it all. People are people and they're all rotten to the core.
And you know that better than anyone else.
Ralph puts down the drink. He opens a dresser and pulls out a drawer, places it on the bed, and starts rummaging through the contents. He pulls out a pay stub.
Hey, look at this. It's a pay stub from my old job with the agency. When I left, I was a senior case analyst, but now that's ancient history. My old office is now a storage bin. My job title no longer exists, and when I went back there a year ago, nobody recognized me. It's as if I never worked there.
Stop your moping. You got your pension, right?
I did my work, I kept my mouth shut, and busted my hump so I can get out with a pension and enjoy life. I thought things would be better after I left. But I was wrong. I was chasing a dream. My life was just as empty.
That's your fault. You made it empty. That's what you wanted.
Ralph ignores his alter ego and starts rummaging through the drawer again and pulls out a faded newspaper article. Ralph reads the headline.
Man saves girl from drowning. That man was me. Back in 1982, I pulled a 10-year-old girl out of the ocean. She was stuck in a riptide. I went and plucked her out. Later was reported in the news.
Big deal. Anybody could have done that.
What's so sad is I lost touch with the little girl.
Oh, stop your weeping, you faker. You never even bothered to find out the little girl's name.
Ralph ignores his alter ego. Still weeping, Ralph puts down the article.
Let's see what else is in here.
Ralph reaches into the drawer again and pulls out a document and reads it aloud.
Dear Mr. Gorlinsky, on behalf of the government of the state of New York, I want to personally thank you for the support you provided for the first responders at Ground Zero after the 9/11 attack. Your generosity was an act of selflessness that brought credit to you as an American and strengthened the entire nation in a time of crisis. Very truly yours, Lorene Taylor Greene, Personal Secretary of the Government.
Ralph tosses the letter aside.
It was a form letter. Thousands of people got the same letter. I would have done better just to stay at home.
All you can think about is yourself.
Ralph reaches into the drawer again and pulls out an old 4x6-inch black and white photograph.
Jesus, my mother. That picture must have been taken 60 or 70 years ago. She was a good woman, the salt of the earth she was. She tried her best to take care for us, but for a long time I didn't realize it. I didn't realize that her yelling at me was a way of showing love for me. I only remember feeling put down.
Only a mother would have put up with the likes of you.
Now she's gone, and my father as well.
At least you remember them, which is surprisingly decent of you.
Their history, just like I'm going to be. Except there won't be anyone around to mark my passing.
What about the Four Leaf Clover Tavern? They'll miss you. You're their favorite customer.
What a life.
Ralph gulps down the remainder of his drink, drops the glass, collapses on the bed, and immediately passes out. Ralph's alter ego exits. End of scene 18. Scene 19. Time, next morning, 3 a.m. Place, inside Ralph's mind. Ralph is dreaming. He is in a room. A woman enters. It is his mother.
Mom, forgive me. Mom, forgive me. Mom, forgive me.
Mother looks away.
Mom, play with me.
Mother suddenly exits. Ralph is frantic.
Mom, don't leave me. Mom, I'm afraid. Don't leave me. Don't leave me.
Stage goes dark. In the dark, Ralph can be heard screaming.
Mom, don't leave me!